Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Newshour, India's voice to the world. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran. Coming up in the next hour, US lawmakers slam Bangladesh for banning the Awami League, urge free and fair elections. India's space agency ISRO launches heaviest ever satellite for a US company. EU slams US visa bans. European Commission President says will protect freedom of speech. And churches decked up for Christmas as India joins the world in celebrating the birth of Jesus Christ. In a major triumph for India's space program, Indian Space Research Organisation successfully launched the Bluebird Block-2 by the LVM-3M6 launch vehicle. This next-generation spacecraft will enable high-speed cellular broadband directly to standard smartphones worldwide. Prime Minister Modi hailed it as a proud milestone, boosting self-reliance and paving the way for future missions such as Gaganyaan.
0.
The Indian Space Research Organisation on Wednesday achieved a resounding success with the launch of its heavy-lift LVM-3M6 rocket from the Satish Dhawan Space Centre in Sriharikota in Andhra Pradesh. This dedicated commercial mission precisely deployed the advanced Bluebird Block-2 communication satellite into low Earth orbit. Bluebird Block-2 is a spacecraft of the USA and the heaviest satellite ever launched from Indian soil into its intended orbit.
Today we have got a very important achievement. The LVM-3M6 rocket, the Bahubali rocket of India, has placed the heaviest satellite from Indian soil in the perfectly intended orbit. And that too, this is a commercial launch for USA, one of the companies, and this puts us in strong pedestal, strong foundation, and today we are a very vibrant spacefaring nation accomplishing third fully commercial mission by the LVM-3 rocket.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi hailed the achievement as a proud milestone in India's space odyssey, reflecting the nation's commitment to Atmanirbharta or self-reliance. In a post on X, Prime Minister congratulated ISRO's scientists and engineers, emphasizing how the LVM-3's proven heavy lift performance bolsters foundations for ambitious future endeavors such as Gaganyaan. PM Modi added that this increased capability and boost to self-reliance are wonderful for the coming generations. The Bluebird Block-2 mission marks the sixth operational flight of LVM-3. This mission is a dedicated commercial mission on board the LVM-3 launch vehicle. LVM-3 is a three-stage launch vehicle comprising two solid strap-on motors, a liquid core stage, and a cryogenic upper stage. It has a lift-off mass of 640 tons, a height of 43.5 meters, and a payload capability of 4,200 kgs to geosynchronous transfer orbit. In its earlier missions, LVM-3 successfully launched Chandrayaan-2, Chandrayaan-3 and two OneWeb missions carrying 72 satellites. In this mission, LVM-3M6 placed the Bluebird Block-2 satellite into the low Earth orbit and is the largest commercial communication satellite to be deployed in low Earth orbit. The satellite is part of a next generation of Bluebird Block-2 communication satellites designed to provide space-based cellular broadband connectivity directly to standard mobile smartphones.
ISRO is always ready to accept whatever academia has to give, and that is why they are always connected with IIT and NIT. With camera person Surya, Ritesh Ranjan, DD India.
The cabinet, chaired by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, on Wednesday approved a new phase of the Delhi Metro Rail project, marking a significant expansion of the capital's mass rapid transit network. He has hailed the cabinet's approval of 3 new corridors for the Delhi Metro and said the decision will give a major boost to the capital's infrastructure. Information and Broadcasting Minister Ashwini Vaishnav said that the project will cover 3 major corridors and reduce carbon emission.
Corridors approved हुए हैं. रामकृष्णा आश्रम आरके आश्रम मार्ग से इंद्रप्रस्थ 9.9 kilometers at an investment of 9,570 crores. Aerocity to Airport Terminal 1 2.3 kilometers 1,419 crores. Tughlakabad to Kalindi Kunj 3.9 kilometers 1,024 करोड़ रुपीस. इस एक्सपेंशन से दिल्ली में 33,000 tons CO2 emission every year will be saved.
13 new stations, including 10 underground and 3 elevated, will be constructed over 3 years.
अप्रूवल हुआ है, वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. इसको फेज 5A कहा जाएगा. दिस विल बी दिल्ली मेट्रो फेज 5A. 13 स्टेशन इसमें बनेंगे, 10 अंडरग्राउंड एंड 3 एलिवेटेड स्टेशंस. 16 किलोमीटर्स नई लाइन इसमें बनेगी, 16 किलोमीटर्स, एंड द टोटल इन्वेस्टमेंट विल बी 12,015 crore. At an investment of 12,015 crore, 16 kilometers will be added to the Delhi Metro line, Delhi Metro network, with 13 more stations, 13 new stations. With this, Delhi Metro network will cross 400 kilometers.
The minister also shared details of major projects approved across airports, ports, highways and railways.
कुछ महीनों में प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी की ऐतिहासिक तीसरी टर्म में इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर पे इन्वेस्टमेंट बहुत सिग्निफिकेंट हुआ है, और उसका लाभ हमारे मिडिल क्लासेस को, हमारे लो इनकम फैमिलीज को बहुत अच्छा उसका रिजल्ट मिल रहा है. आपके सामने पूरी डिटेल एयरपोर्ट, पोर्ट्स, हाईवे, रेलवे, मेट्रो, इंडस्ट्रियल कॉरिडोर्स, हाउसिंग, हाइड्रो पावर और रोपवेज, करीब 12.5 लाख करोड़ रुपए का इन्वेस्टमेंट इन सब में जा रहा है, जिससे कि देश का फ्यूचर, देश के भविष्य की नींव बने, विकसित भारत की नींव बने.
Now, India's metro journey began in December 2002 with the 8.4-kilometer line from Shadra to Tis Hazari in Delhi, which was inaugurated by then Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee. The metro has since expanded to more than 20 cities, in becoming a symbol of India's urban development and one of the world's leading urban transport successes. Take a look.
From the first tracks laid in Delhi's expanding suburbs in the early 2000s to the bustling, tech-powered networks now weaving over 20 Indian cities, India's metro story is a symbol of its urban awakening. India's metro evolution began modestly in December 2002 with the launch of the 8.4-kilometer Delhi metro line from Shadra to Tis Hazari, inaugurated by former Prime Minister Bharat Ratna Atal Bihari Vajpayee. That day, no one imagined that this modest start would one day turn into one of the world's biggest urban transport success stories. But the real momentum, the real expansion of the metro came over the past 11 years. In 2014, when Prime Minister Narendra Modi took charge of the country, Delhi Metro's length stood at 194 kilometers, with about 140 stations across 6 lines. And today, in 2025, the Delhi Metro has become a massive 352-kilometer network with 257 stations and a web of 10 color-coded lines connecting Delhi with Noida, Ghaziabad, Gurugram, Faridabad and Bahadurgarh. While the metro network has doubled over the past 11 years, it now carries an average of around 6.7 million passengers daily.
आज देश में आधुनिक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर निर्माण का महायज्ञ चल रहा है। 2014 तक सिर्फ 5 शहरों में मेट्रो की सुविधा थी, आज 21 शहरों में मेट्रो है। ये सभी विकास कार्य विकसित भारत के उस रोडमैप का हिस्सा है जो आज हर देशवासी के लिए एक मिशन बन चुका है।
During PM Modi's tenure, Phase 3 expansion of the Delhi Metro began, bringing several major changes. While India's metro network has expanded rapidly to over 20 cities with more than 1,000 kilometers operational by late 2025, making it the world's third largest system after China and the United States, major networks in cities like Delhi, Mumbai, Kolkata, Bengaluru and Hyderabad have significantly transformed urban mobility, driving sharp growth in ridership and coverage since 2014. India's metro networks are reshaping urban life, and more than just transit, they drive ambition, equity, and resilience, forming the backbone of India's growth as it aims for a 7.3 trillion economy by 2030. Under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, it is no longer just a transport system. It has become the heartbeat of a developed India where every station tells a story of progress and every journey is a new leap towards the future. Bureau Report, DD India.
In international updates, rising tensions between Venezuela and the US have spilled onto the global stage, with Caracas claiming strong backing at the UN even as Washington, D.C. tightens sanctions and naval enforcement in the waters of the Caribbean. Meanwhile, regional leaders are pushing for solutions to the humanitarian fallout of Venezuela's crisis. Adamya Mishra reports.
Amid ongoing tension with the United States, Venezuela's ruling party-controlled National Assembly has unanimously approved a new law allowing prison sentences of up to 20 years for anyone who promotes or finances what it calls piracy or blockades.
De aprobar la segunda discusión del proyecto de ley.
In consideration, honorable deputies, those in favor of approving the second discussion for the bill for the protection of freedom of navigation and trade against piracy, blockade and other illicit international acts, please indicate with the usual signal. The law is approved unanimously.
En consecuencia.
This comes as the United States maintains a military deployment near Venezuela and has seized tankers carrying Venezuelan crude oil. Maduro has accused Washington of piracy, saying no one will be able to defeat his country. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro on Tuesday claimed that his country is receiving overwhelming support at the United Nations. The emergency meeting was requested by Venezuela amid heightened tensions between Caracas and Washington.
Y ha surgido con fortaleza propia.
You see the strange piracy behavior that is being denounced today at the United Nations Council. The Security Council is giving overwhelming support to Venezuela and the right to free navigation, to free trade.
Meanwhile, Chilean President-elect José Antonio Cast has proposed creating a humanitarian corridor to help Venezuelan migrants return home following talks in Ecuador.
What we have proposed in this tour is to see how a humanitarian corridor can be created for people who are irregularly in Chile, Peru, Ecuador to return to their homeland, and also to ask the Venezuelan government to open its border doors so that those who want to return can do so.
With sanctions tightening, shipping patrols increasing, and tough new laws at home, Venezuela's standoff with the United States is now widening into a broader regional challenge. Adamya Mishra's report for DD India.
Still to come on DD India Newshour. Ukraine's President Zelensky seeks a meeting with US President Trump on Russia. Australian state passes tougher gun laws after the Bondi Beach shooting. And Thailand and Cambodia begin ceasefire talks as fighting enters third week. Welcome back. You're watching DD India Newshour. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran. Bangladesh remains on edge following a spate of violent incidents. The Muhammad Yunus-led interim government faces mounting pressure over the killing of youth leader Osman Hadi. Amid the turmoil, Bangladesh Nationalist Party's acting chairperson Tariq Rahman is set to return to Dhaka. Also, some US lawmakers have urged Dhaka to reconsider the suspension of the Awami League party. Naval Sangh Parmar in Dhaka and Tripti Tripathi in New Delhi have more.
Unrest in Bangladesh continues. Yunus-led interim government faces mounting pressure over the killing of youth leader Osman Hadi. Protests demanding justice have erupted across the country, with Hadi's brother alleging that assassination was orchestrated to derail the national election scheduled for February. Amid this turmoil, Bangladesh Nationalist Party acting leader Tariq Rahman, son of former Prime Minister Khaleda Zia, is set to return to Dhaka after 17 years in self-exposed exile. With Sheikh Hasina's Awami League barred from contesting, the BNP has emerged as the frontrunner, and Rahman is widely seen as a potential future leader. Meanwhile, the National Citizen Party has called for restoring civic rights of Awami League supporters not involved in past violence. In India, members of pro-Hindu organizations staged demonstrations at several locations, condemning the lynching of Deepu Chandra Das, a 25-year-old garment factory worker who was killed and set on fire in Baluka over alleged blasphemy. Adding to the pressure, US lawmakers have urged Dhaka to reconsider the suspension of the Awami League, warning that bans could undermine free elections. In a letter to Chief Advisor Muhammad Yunus, US Representatives Gregory W. Meeks, Bill Huizenga and Sidney Kalamanga-Dove warned that banning an entire political party could defranchise a large section of voters. Bangladesh now stands at a critical juncture, with political stability and credible polls under close watch. With inputs from Naval Sangh Parmar, Tripti Tripathi report for DD India.
And Naval Sangh Parmar now joins us on the phone line from Dhaka. Now, a few days ago, US President Trump's special envoy for South and Central Asia, Sergio Gore, spoke with Bangladesh's leader Muhammad Yunus. And now some US lawmakers have written to Dr. Yunus. Has Dhaka responded to the lawmakers' concern over the ban on Awami League and their demand for a free and fair election?
Well, in Bangladesh, the most of the conventional media, print as well as television, have taken note of the letters to Dr. Yunus from the US lawmaker. At the same time, today afternoon, when there was a press conference, some journalists asked question to Press Secretary of Dr. Yunus, Sariful Islam Alam, whether Dr. Yunus' his office has received any letter from the US lawmaker. At that time, he responded that they're not aware of letter from US congressman. But he made the statement at the time that the Awami League is a pan political party and there is no consideration is going on at the administration level, Yunus administration level, regarding the lifting of ban and allowing Awami League to participate in the election. But at the same time, the close associate of Dr. Yunus, and earlier he was a advisor also, one of the key advisor in Yunus administration, and the student leader or student face of the quota reforms movement in Bangladesh, Nahid Islam, made a statement yesterday night that their party, NCP, National Citizens Party, will support the civic and political right restoration process of Awami League. So it is a positive sign from the youth leader, and who is having a considerable following in the youth, and the activist who toppled the Sheikh Hasina government.
Right, now the slain activist Osman Hadi's brother is accusing the Yunus government of orchestrating his killing to delay the election. How serious are fears that the election may be deferred?
Actually, there are various from various political quarters. This time, this kind of allegation have been raised against the Yunus administration. In fact, the Editor Council's chairperson and
New Age, one of the leading newspaper in Bangladesh, editor-in-chief Nurul Kabir also made a statement that either whole of the government administration or part of the government were responsible to orchestrate the attacks on the media houses like Daily Star and New Age. So same way, some political faction are also making an allegation against the Yunus administration that it is a well-planned event, and that is the aim to derail the election next year in February 2026. So this kind of allegation are very common from the political sphere in Bangladesh, and the very many eminent person also made a comment that the people of Bangladesh have lost faith and lost confidence in the Yunus administration.
Now, BNP leader Khalida Zia's son Tariq Rahman is expected to return from exile. Where does the BNP stand in opinion polls?
Well, in the absence of Awami League, BNP is considered as one of the major political parties. There were two mainstream political parties in Bangladesh. One is Awami League and second one is Bangladesh Nationalist Party. In past, they have alternatively ruled the country for a long duration here in Bangladesh. So it is a pan-Bangladesh party having a good presence in the almost all the districts of Bangladesh, and in the absence of political leadership of Awami League, either they are in jail or they are exiled. So BNP is having a fair chance if the free and fair election happen, and if Awami League is not participating. But if Awami League comes into play, and if it is a multi-corner contest, then time will tell what will happen.
All right, we'll leave it there. Naval Sangh Parmar in Dhaka. Thank you. Appreciate it. In more news from South Asia, the government of Nepal and major political parties in the Himalayan nation have reached an agreement on creating an environment conducive for the upcoming 5th March election to the House of Representatives. Nepali Congress President and former Prime Minister Sher Bahadur Deuba, CPN UML Chairperson and former Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli, and Communist Party of Nepal CPN Coordinator and former Prime Minister Pushpakamal Dahal Prachand met President Ramchandra Paudel and Prime Minister Sushila Karki in Kathmandu. Meanwhile, on Wednesday, Chief Election Commissioner Ram Prasad Bhandari said that necessary preparations have already begun for conducting the House of Representatives election on 5th March. Moving on, military officials from Thailand and Cambodia began talks on Wednesday, days after the neighbors agreed to discuss resumption of a ceasefire after 16 days of fierce border clashes that have killed at least 86 people. The talks come 2 days after a special meeting in Kuala Lumpur of Southeast Asian foreign ministers convened to try to salvage a truce first brokered by ASEAN chair Malaysia and US President Donald Trump after a previous round of clashes in July. Thai Defense Ministry spokesperson said Wednesday's meeting of the General Border Committee would last 3 days and could pave the way for an agreement. The talks were held at a border checkpoint towards the southern end of their frontier. The meeting is the most significant step since fighting re-erupted and follows separate unsuccessful efforts by Malaysia, China and the US to bring the two countries to the table. A Cambodian official accused Thailand of destroying a Hindu statue in a disputed border area after more than 2 weeks of military clashes between the neighbors. A government spokesperson in the border province of Pre Vihir said the demolition of the Vishnu statue built in 2014 took place on Monday about 100 meters from the border with Thailand. Cambodia has repeatedly alleged that Thai forces have damaged temple ruins along the border during the clashes. But Bangkok says that Phnom Penh was positioning soldiers at the centuries-old stone structures. Meanwhile, India has reacted to reports of demolition of a statue of a Hindu religious deity located in an area affected by the ongoing Thai-Cambodia border dispute. In response to media queries on the demolition of Hindu deity statue, India's Ministry of External Affairs spokesperson has said, and I quote, "We have seen reports on the demolition of a statue of a Hindu religious deity built in recent times, and located in an area affected by the ongoing Thai-Cambodia border dispute. Hindu and Buddhist deities are deeply revered and worshipped by people across the region as part of our shared civilizational heritage. Notwithstanding territorial claims, such disrespectful acts hurt the sentiments of followers around the world and should not take place. We once again urge the two sides to return to dialogue and diplomacy, to resume peace and avoid any further loss of lives and damage to property and heritage. Australia's New South Wales state passes new statewide laws cracking down on guns and giving authorities the power to ban protests after the nation's deadliest mass shooting in decades. The reforms were passed in the upper house of the New South Wales legislature. The new rules will cap the number of guns an individual can own to 4 or 10 for exempted individuals such as farmers. The legislation will also give authorities the power to prohibit protests for up to 3 months following a terrorist incident.
First tranche, but an important tranche of reforms in this state in relation to protest legislation, extreme hate symbols in our community, and also the toughest gun restrictions of any jurisdiction in the country. I want to make it clear that this isn't the end of change. Sydney and New South Wales has changed forever as a result of that terrorist activity last Sunday. And we know it's our responsibility to do everything we can to keep the people of New South Wales safe, and that means further change in the new year.
Shifting focus to Europe now, the Ukraine-Russia conflict remains caught between explosions on the ground and negotiations at the table. A deadly bomb blast in Moscow, fresh Russian drone strikes on Ukrainian infrastructure, and troop movements in the east reflect the ongoing intensity of the conflict. At the same time, diplomatic efforts involving the US, Russia and Ukraine are gaining momentum, with peace proposals under review but no immediate breakthrough yet in sight. Nishchoy Roy reports.
Moscow woke up once again to the sound of geopolitics, loud and lethal. Russia's investigative committee said 3 people, including 2 police officers, were killed in a bomb explosion on Yeletskaya Street in Moscow on Wednesday. The attack adds to a growing list of assassinations targeting Russian military figures and high-profile supporters of the war. Meanwhile, the Kremlin said President Vladimir Putin has been briefed on contacts with envoys of President Donald Trump over US proposals for a possible peace deal.
Dmitriev has already had the opportunity to brief the president on the outcome of his trip in detail. Based on the information the head of state received, we now intend to formulate our further position and resume contacts in the near future through the channels that are currently operating.
Addressing the Russian parliament on Wednesday, Putin emphasized strengthening national security and sustaining economic growth despite ongoing challenges.
Russia's parliament, both its chambers, is ending the autumn session with solid results. There was a lot of work and a series of important legislative measures aimed at strengthening national security and developing the economy and social sphere in the interest of the country and its citizens was passed.
In Ukraine, forces have withdrawn from the eastern town of Siversk, a move that brings Russian troops closer to the strategic hub of Sloviansk amid growing US pressure on Kyiv to pursue peace talks. Meanwhile, President Volodymyr Zelensky said a 20-point US-Ukraine peace plan could freeze front lines, allow withdrawals and create demilitarized zones and is under review by Moscow. Zelensky also reported a Russian drone strike in Ukraine's Zhytomyr region that damaged energy infrastructure and triggered emergency power cuts.
Another Russian attack is vile. Like everything they do, the energy sector was the main target. But unfortunately, there are losses and injuries. Repair crew are working all day at energy facilities. Maximum efforts so that Ukrainians have light for Christmas. Of course, the Russians are trying to break both this holiday and this holy day.
Zelensky has also called for a meeting with Donald Trump to resolve key issues like territorial control in a future peace deal. As talks inch forward and positions harden, the conflict remains caught between diplomacy and destruction. Nishchoy Roy's report for DD India.
The European Union and its member states reacted sharply on Wednesday to US sanctions imposed on 5 European figures who were involved in regulating tech companies, including a former European commissioner. EU Commission President Ursula von der Leyen has said that the Union will keep protecting freedom of speech. They were responding to the US State Department's announcement on Tuesday that it would deny visas to the 5, accusing them of seeking to coerce US social media platforms into censoring viewpoints they oppose. France and Germany condemned the news from Washington, D.C. A statement from the European Commission said that they have requested clarifications from the US authorities. Meanwhile, France's President Emmanuel Macron on Wednesday criticized the US move to impose visa bans on former EU Commissioner Thierry Breton and 4 other European figures. He said the US action is an attempt to pressurize Europe over its digital rules. Taking to social media platform X, Macron said that Europe's digital policies are decided democratically and should not be dictated from outside Europe. The French government also condemned the Trump administration's decision to blacklist Breton, who helped draft the EU Digital Services Act, a law that regulates big tech platforms. Meanwhile, France's foreign minister said the Digital Services Act simply ensures that what is illegal offline is also illegal online, and stressed that the law does not target the US. Breton has also reacted, saying the move will not silence Europe's right to regulate its own digital space. Still to come on DD India Newshour. The Indian government tells states to completely ban new mining leases in the Aravalli Hills. And an expert take on Bangladesh situation. More on that after the break.
Jharkhand will mesmerize you with majestic nature, rich heritage and colorful culture.
Hello. Johar. It fits perfectly.
Thank you.
Full workout हो गया.
Ready?
Postcards from Jharkhand on National Geographic.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Newshour. I am Ramesh Ramachandran. Now, going back to the top story, developments in Bangladesh. Joining us is Ambassador Riva Ganguly Das. She's a former High Commissioner to Bangladesh and former Ambassador to Romania. Ambassador Das, welcome to DD India Newshour. Now, the ban on Awami League worries some US lawmakers. They've written to Bangladesh leader Muhammad Yunus in this regard. Do you think Dhaka will rethink the ban?
Well, my view is that Dhaka is very unlikely to rethink the ban. In fact, I think the press secretary to Muhammad Yunus has just a few hours back probably given a press conference where he has said that he in fact said that he, from what I remember, that he hasn't even seen that letter and that it's Awami League will not be allowed to take part in the elections. So I don't, it seems a little unlikely at this stage.
Okay. On the other hand, Ambassador, the Russian envoy to Bangladesh held a press conference in Dhaka a few days ago. He reminded hosts about how India helped liberate Bangladesh in 1971 and how Russia backed India in the Bangladesh Liberation War. What should one read into the Russian ambassador's remarks?
Well, I think, all countries which have enjoyed friendly relations with Bangladesh over a period of time are must be watching with concern at the deteriorating internal situation in Bangladesh. And, one is, of course, the security part of it, that the law enforcement has simply not been able to control, bring any law and order in the country. Secondly, you would have heard voices coming from within Bangladesh saying that, the government itself, government of the day, that is Professor Muhammad Yunus's government, it itself creating this sort of disturbance and, this mob kind of situation in the country. And and on top of that, there is this huge conflict going on what actually happened in history, which in fact is a little surprising because, it's not as if history happened hundreds of years back. It is recorded history. It's in the memory of people. People who have participated in the liberation war of Bangladesh are alive in Bangladesh, and Indian, civil society, army personnel who participated in that war are alive, and this is living memory. So to question it and to distort it and to put it on its head would be of concern to any country. So, would be of concern, of course, to us to see how, distortion of history is taking place. And, there is so much controversy being generated by vested interests on India's role and, what the contribution that India made to the liberation of Bangladesh.
Indeed. Ambassador, the slain Osman Hadi's brother in the last several hours has made a number of allegations. One, he says, my brother was killed by those in power. And two, he was killed to derail the election. Do you buy the allegations?
Well, I think even before Osman Hadi was assassinated, it was quite evident that, government was in no position to bring any semblance of order in the country. It was, everybody stressed repeatedly that it is the onus is on the Yunus government to conduct free and fair election. And that was really the purpose for which they had come to power. And so it was, some degree of violence was expected because since August 5, law and order has not improved one bit. In fact, it has constantly deteriorated, and mobs are attacking houses, they are attacking institutions, they are forcing people to resign, and no action is being taken against them. The impunity with which they are going around doing these things is not, it's so, by that logic, it was not surprising that this sort of a thing would happen. And definitely there are people in Bangladesh, there are, the Jamaat-e-Islami is now enjoying enormous amount of power. I think since the independence of Bangladesh, Jamaat has never ever been, so much in control of institutions, of administration, of police, of every branch of the government. So if they are enjoying power without having fought an election, why wouldn't they want to prolong their own, enjoyment of this power? Because an election definitely means that there is no guarantee that they will, how they're going to perform. And it is widely believed that, if there is a free, fair, open election and, inclusive election, Jamaat is not likely to come anywhere near the second position also.
So are you thereby implying, Ambassador, that the election may not be held as planned?
See, it's a very tough question because, I think it is in everybody's interest. And even, there are many, sensible people in Bangladesh who are all saying that election is necessary, not only for the, to bring about some semblance of political stability, but also for the economy. Bangladesh economy is spiraling down. People are being pushed under the poverty line. Growth prospects are very poor. No investment has taken place. Either even their own companies are fearful of investing. domestically. So leave aside foreign investment. So altogether, it's a very dire situation from which election seems to be the only way out. So, government will have to make extra effort to conduct elections, to bring back some faith of the people in the government itself.
And talking of elections, Ambassador, how do you view the return of Khalida Zia's son, Tariq Rahman, from exile?
Well, I think it's politically a very important development that is happening. He's expected to arrive in Dhaka tomorrow. We will see what kind of, crowds turn up. I feel that a very large crowd is going to turn up in Dhaka itself, though the BNP is trying very hard to make sure that people are not inconvenienced and that they're making some plans of how he is to be received. And as you know, he's coming back after a very long time. He was in exile all this while. The BNP has also been, BNP has basically played the role of an opposition without being inside the parliament because, some years they did not participate in parliamentary elections. So as things stand now, in the absence of Awami League in the political arena, BNP is the largest party. They have good, they're very strong in all over the country. They are a cadre-based party. They have grassroots levels workers. They have had a lot of problems over the last 1.5 years since August 5 in terms of trying to control their cadres. There have been accusations against the BNP, but I think Tariq Rahman coming back is going to be very, very politically, turning point in a sense in this whole process.
Right, and looking at it from an Indian perspective, ambassadors, what lessons can and should New Delhi draw from the events that unfolded in Bangladesh leading up to Sheikh Hasina's ouster and afterwards?
Well, I think it's still a little early to reflect back. We've always, as far as India is concerned, since the birth of Bangladesh in 1971, we have always extended our hand of friendship. We have always, believed that their prosperity, their growth, their political stability is in the interest of India-Bangladesh relation and the entire region. So we've always been interested in seeing a friendly neighbor which is, which prospers, which is economically prosperous, which is, which goes through a stable political process. Unfortunately, Bangladesh's history has been a little, has not, what should I say? I mean, democracy has really not been able to have roots in the country. We know that there have been repeated coups, and it's only after the ouster of Irshad that democracy has been established.
Right.
So it's a hard question to answer, but definitely, I think Government of India has still now shown its ability to work with whoever comes to power, and we've worked with every kind of government that has come to power. So the ups and downs we have the ability to deal with it.
Right.
And I'm sure, whatever happens in future, we will be able to work with an elected government, and this situation will pass, I hope, sooner than later.
All right, we'll leave it there. Ambassador Riva Ganguly Das, thank you for joining us and sharing your insights with our viewers at home and abroad. Thank you for your time. Right, moving on, the Indian government has imposed a complete ban on new mining leases across the Aravalli mountain range to curb illegal mining. Tapas Bhattacharya has more.
In a major push to protect one of India's oldest mountain systems, the Union Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change has imposed a complete ban on the grant of any new mining leases across the entire Aravalli range, stretching from Delhi to Gujarat. The move aims to safeguard the Aravallis as a continuous geological ridge, putting a firm stop to unregulated and illegal mining activities that threaten the fragile ecosystem. Taking conservation a step further, the Centre has directed the Indian Council of Forestry, Research and Education (ICFRE) to identify additional no-mining zones across the Aravallis based on ecological, geological and landscape level assessments. ICFRE will also prepare a comprehensive science-based management plan for sustainable mining, assessing environmental impact, ecological carrying capacity and identifying conservation critical areas. The plan will be placed in the public domain for stakeholder consultation. For mines already in operation, state governments have been asked to ensure strict compliance with environmental safeguards and Supreme Court directions. The Centre has reiterated its commitment to protecting the Aravallis, vital for biodiversity, groundwater recharge and preventing desertification. Tapas Bhattacharya's report for DD India.
Home Minister Amit Shah on Wednesday attended the Veer Bal Divas program in Haryana's Panchkula. On the occasion, Minister Shah paid tribute and remembered the sacrifice of the Sahibzadas who stood up against the Mughals. Addressing a gathering, the minister said that Sikh Guru Tegh Bahadur played a crucial role in protecting India's social and cultural fabric.
Guru Tegh Bahadur na hote to hum koi Hindu na hote, koi Sikh nahi hota, pura Bharat समाप्त हो गया होता. इस देश पर रवम गुरु के जो उपकार है, वो 5000 साल के बाद भी इसका शुक्राना अदा नहीं हो सकता, कोई भूल नहीं सकता. नवम गुरु की वो महान यात्रा दिल्ली तक की और औरंगजेब को कहा कि धर्म परिवर्तन बंद करो. इतनी यातनाएं सहन करने के बाद भी जुल्मी और अत्याचारी लोगों के सामने अपने मक्कम इरादों को कभी उन्होंने पिघलने नहीं दिया.
Christmas cheer has taken over India's capital, New Delhi, as the devout step out to celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ. From brightly lit churches to bustling markets and towering Christmas trees, the spirit of the season is visible across the capital region. Rupa Kumar Jha reports.
Festive lights, beautifully decorated Christmas trees and the sound of carols have brought a joyful transformation to the Indian capital as Delhi and the wider national capital region celebrate Christmas, commemorating the birth of Jesus Christ. Amid tight security arrangements around churches, public spaces and markets, people from different walks of life have come together to take part in the celebrations, reflecting the inclusive and multicultural spirit of the festival. Churches across the region are holding special prayers and services, drawing worshippers who see Christmas as a time for reflection, faith and gratitude. For many, the occasion is not only religious, but also a moment to reconnect with their families and spread the message of goodwill.
Every Christmas, God gives us His message. He loves us. And His love is manifested through His Son Jesus. And His Son Jesus Himself has asked us to be His messengers of love, of brotherhood. And He clearly says it is not the love of the one who loves you. It is to love those who don't love you. It is to pray for those who persecute you. It is for the people, those who are not associating with you, to go to them and say that God loves you.
Outside the churches, the festive mood extends to markets and shopping districts. Shops selling Christmas decorations, gifts and traditional treats are witnessing brisk activity as families and young people step out to celebrate the season.
Bible says God is love. And so this season we are just spreading love, and my message to the world is be patient, be humble, just spread love and peace. This is what Christmas is all about.
The message I would like to give to the world is that it's a time of peace. It's a time when so many countries all over the world are celebrating a single, festival. So it's just love and warmth.
It's a festival of love, patience, humility. So just emulating him and just following the commandment, the biggest commandment, which is loving him, loving all the people, loving others just like we love ourselves. Go with love one another, and spread peace. That's all.
The festival has brought renewed energy for the shopkeepers, with steady footfall and strong demand for decorations such as Christmas trees, stars and lights, symbols closely associated with the season. As Christmas is being observed around the world, scenes from Delhi NCR echoes the universal message of the festival: peace, hope and harmony. Rupak Kumar Jha's report for DD India.
Right, joining us from Dibrugarh is Subina Roy. Kunal Shinde joins us from Agartala, and Muskan Chaudhary is in Shimla. Subina, to you first, how's the Christmas spirit in Dibrugarh?
Yeah, right. Merry Christmas to all the DD India audience out there. As you know, that Assam has the third largest population of people who follow the Christianism faith. And as you can see behind my back, people from all across religions have thronged the church out here. I'm at Don Bosco Church, and they are singing Christmas carols to celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ. And this is a special occasion for the people of Northeast, because Christianism has had an impact in the Northeast, especially in the tribal populations.
Right.
And talking about the Upper Assam, especially in Brahmaputra Valley, there are many tea garden people, who follow Christianity. And I'm right here now at Don Bosco Church, where it also has a Don Bosco school, and we have a lot of children from the tea garden community coming up here to come and study.
Right, coming to you now, Kunal, how is the city celebrating Christmas?
First of all, Merry Christmas to you, Ramesh, and to all our viewers of DD India. Christmas is all about joy and warmth, as we all know. It is about spreading the kindness, love, compassion and a bond of togetherness. So here in Agartala as well, like every year, we have been witnessing the Christmas festivities is on in full swing. People over here, like we are now at the Mariam Nagar Church. It is one of the oldest church in Agartala and Tripura, if I may say so, because this particular church was built in the year 1954. This was built by the migrants who came all the way from Goa. They were Portuguese, and around 16 men they came from Portuguese. The then dynasty Maharaja Bir Bikram Manikya Bahadur. He was the one who brought the 16 sailors all the way from Goa to work over here. And they were the ones who constructed this church. So people from various walks of life, from Agartala as well as from different parts from the surrounding area, they throng at this particular church. Now it may look little bit like vacant, because people are coming in small groups. In lesser numbers, they are coming here to take the blessings of Lord Jesus, to see the decoration, the beautifully decorated church out here. And but tomorrow, as we all know, like what we get to know from the locals over here, it will be jam-packed. Like there won't be any space for anyone to even stand out here.
Indeed, and going across to Shimla now, where Muskan Chaudhary is standing by. Muskan, give us a flavor of the Christmas celebrations where you are.
First of all, I would like to wish the team of DD India and all the viewers who are watching DD India right now, I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. And let me tell you, Shimla is completely under the magic of Christmas Eve. People are enjoying and they are coming from all over the country to celebrate Christmas here. And I'm currently standing on the historic ridge, and behind me is the Christ Church, which is beautifully decorated. And people are not only enjoying Christmas, they are not only celebrating Christmas, but they have come for the winter carnival as well. The winter carnival has started today. The Chief Minister of Himachal, Sukhwinder Singh Sukhu, has inaugurated the winter carnival today, and it will run till 31st December. And I guess behind me you can see the people who are very happy and they are dancing. So the vibe of Shimla is totally a total festival vibe right now. People are enjoying themselves, and they are coming, and the families are coming. The streets are also decorated, so it's like a huge carnival that is being celebrated.
Absolutely.
Today.
On that note, may I thank all my colleagues, Subina Roy in Dibrugarh, Kunal Shinde in Agartala, and Muskan Chaudhary in Shimla. Thank you, appreciate it. And Christmas greetings to all of viewers who are celebrating it around the world. And that's all for this edition of DD India Newshour. You can get the latest news on the DD India mobile app, which is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download it. And we'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran. From all of us here in New Delhi, thanks for watching DD India Newshour.